again. Waiting for the picture. Come on, YouTube. A little bit of coffee. A lot of coffee, actually. Interesting subjects. Hey, guys, when you're streaming and you start the stream and there's nobody there, don't sit there. Talk. Because when your video's done and you upload your video after that, there's just people seeing you sitting there waiting for people to arrive. Eyes wide open, arrived while I was talking, so I was able to blend it in. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Joy B. Ronce, I love the name. JB Ronce, sorry. I gotta get the light up here. It is JB. You're right on, brother. I leave the lights low so that it doesn't blind me like this, and but sometimes it's hard to see the names. Very interesting topics today. I, for one, like amongst many of you or some of you, have experienced seeing a door opening on the other side. It's something that's very real. And the beauty of it all is that it remains hidden, because even as truthful as I am or as anyone ever will be, it remains a story, because it's very rare somebody capturing this on camera. But for me, it's affected me all my life. For me, as a matter of fact, the fact that other dimensions and portals exist, that I believe they exist, and still in science is a theory today. When my dad died, it was the only way that I believe that something was in contact with me. So whether it be my subconscious, the cortex interacting, teasing my pineal gland and making my eyes see things, I don't think so. I think there really is other alternate worlds, other dimensions, alternate realities where the laws of physics are completely different. Gravity, everything that our mind is wrapped around here, gravity, space and time, that's just all theories. Gravity waves, it's all theories, because we see something that's moving in a waveform, so we say, it's a wave. Yeah, a wave of what? We have no idea. Everything is theoretical, right? But other dimensions absolutely exist, and it's a subject that I could talk to for hours. Gate Smasher says next stream tonight, let's talk about space, time, and literally other dimensions, the Matrix, because we're really living in the Matrix. Detroit's in the house. Thank you very much. And of course, I do research in space, in ufology and astronomy, and every video that I've gotten about with UFOs, the conversation tonight can go to that too. We talk about anything and everything here. I'm just shooting out theories and ideas, but there's no law of anything that we have to stick with tonight as a subject. We can flourish upon other subjects. Jay, thank you very much. Hello. And to all newcomers, and it is a crazy subject. It could be crazy subject or crazy subject, because, some people have a lot of whacked theories, including me. I'm not going to hide it. Boston in the house. Right on, JB Ronce. Thank you very much. Right on, Kai. How you feeling, bro? Hope you're okay, man. Hope you're feeling better. His Highness. Thanks, you guys. Hey, Mr. William Shuttles. Thank you very much. Dusty Yug is in the house. The Divine Sorcerer. Happy to see him. Oh, isn't that funny? I have a chair that is starting to sink. No, it's not, because I'm too heavy. Of course not. Could be. I'm sitting here the other day and I was streaming, and once in a while, my chair's going down. We have Javi. Thank you very much. Hello. Any newcomers here? If there are, well, now there's 50 watching. Did everyone die? I mean, where is everybody, eh? It's almost scary. Yesterday, I was locked for the past 2 days at 800 views and then 500 views. Yeah, I could tell. I've told some parts of it, man. It's horrifyingly amazing. It's a friend's shadow, literally a shadow, stopped moving. We were three in the room. One of the shadows stopped moving on the wall, and the shadow. And when I say the shadow, it's because it was still my friend's shape, but it wasn't him because it wasn't moving. The shadow had its two arms like this, like side by side, and just stayed there like that. And then all of a sudden, it looked like it opened its eyes. We couldn't see it. It's a silhouette of my friend's shadow because it was our shadow on the wall. Silhouette started moving around and then started advancing towards us. And the way the shadow advanced towards us, you see me going down again? God, the shadow advanced towards us with the candles lit up. And what happens is when somebody walks, well, your shadow goes up and elongates its head like on the ceiling as it's coming towards you. And we could see the shadow, running around the room to do something, to want to touch, to attack. And it was actually trying to get to JP. And it's funny because it was JP's shadow. So we could say it's funny, but it really was a portal. I mean, shouldn't swear to God, but I'm swearing to God. Let them strike me dead right now. I saw it. I saw the portal. It was a square rectangle portal with white light around it. And that other side had also what looked like a table on it. No colors or anything whatsoever, only shadows and silhouettes. My friend kicked the candle. Once he kicked the candle, obviously we plunged into darkness, and then I just kept telling him, dumbass, he's still there. We just can't see him. For Christ's sakes, get the light on, put the candle back on. And he goes, no, no, no. And my friend Eric, never again did he ever, I'm not bullshitting you, never again did he ever, ever buy a candle to have candlelight in the house. When it happened, all three of us laughed, looked at each other, then laughed and looked at each other. We couldn't believe that it was happening. So from the beginning this time, and that's a real story. That's a real story. I've seen it another time, and it was black figures that came in at the end of my bed, and I did not like what was going on. And screamed at the top of my lungs, but my mother couldn't hear me. I was young on top of it when that happened. Banging on the walls, she couldn't hear anything. And oh boy, she would have heard it right away. She would have ripped my head off me banging on the wall with her head. Not true. Her head was not on the side of the wall that was banging. It was actually the wall that was at my feet was my mother's room. So my bed was at the other end of the wall. And I say other end, it's a small room. I'm still going down, eh? I can see myself going down. I'm starting to get mad now because now I'm getting really close to the floor. Things happen, right? At the worst of times. My chair's not that old. I would have liked it to last maybe like 2 years. Would have been awesome. But come on. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel. So I guess I have to fix this. Unreal, eh? This is so funny. It's always when I have an interesting subject. If it's not my eye that's bothering me when I have an interesting subject, now it's going to be the chair. I have to rant a little bit. I told you some of it. It just, it sounds crazy. People say, okay, well, clickbait this, clickbait that. But if it really happened, if some of you really experienced something scary and you're horrified by it, don't. Because whatever's on the other side, that shadow was afraid of us. It was really afraid of us. So a lot of people get afraid of ghosts, but who says ghosts don't get afraid of us when they're in this realm? 3 dimensions. You hear a lot of people say that. And listen, when you look up about 3D and 3-dimensional realms and worlds like the one we live in, talk about the XYZ axis, one-dimensional world is like a string, and then a 2D world, it would be a string in a box, and then a 3D world. But apparently there are 10 dimensions. This is what scientists speculate about. We can say speculate because we're talking about theory here, but it's still online facts, what scientists say. And those 10 dimensions would be, and now if we go into religion, I won't, but if we did, the 10 dimensions that scientists are talking about right now, there's also 10 different realms or dimensions in the worlds in Hinduism and a whole bunch of other, Buddhism and a whole bunch of different religions. But supposedly there are 10 dimensions, and those 10 dimensions are what makes up the world that we're in right now. So in other words, we can see three dimensions, length, width, and apparently the fourth length, width, and depth. That's three dimensions, X, Y, Z, in science and mathematics. And the fourth dimension, they say, is time, because there's a theory about time also, and then you can get into quantum physics and string theory, and anybody can talk about other dimensions. It's interesting. You don't have to be at quantum physics to be able to talk about it. And obviously, if you are, well, you look it up online, and they even tell you that when it comes to string theory and quantum physics and talking about dimensions, alternate worlds, and all that, you need a pretty smart mind to be able to understand it all. I haven't even touched the basics of any of it, right? I'm just shooting out dimensions and stuff. Like, imagine every dimension being on this one plane where everything, imagine a plate if you have to, but imagine just plate over plate over plate over plate, but that they're compressed all together in the same level, even, and all that line of energy where all the dimensions reach is where people call the fabric of space and time, right? It's all compressed and dense and thick mass and compressed, right? Like, I mean, how the hell is everything floating? The universes and everything. Are we in water? What the hell's going on? It's all magnetism, they say. And there are to try to imagine other dimensions, just trying to imagine another solar system is hard to try to imagine. We talked about it last stream, the other solar system beside us, Proxima B, where they found Proxima Centauri, where they found an artificial light on the dark side of this dwarf exoplanet, dwarf planet, or dwarf star, or whatever you want to call it. It's a red star. They found two gas giants again, and over 6,000 exoplanets now that they're up to, that they were able to confirm that over 3,000 of them are actually exoplanets in the habitable zone. It's only a matter of time. Last stream, if you missed it, Ryugu samples that they brought back has organic rich material on it. So asteroids, probably even the moon, has vegetation. And I mean, it rains and snows on bloody asteroids when they go by. Why wouldn't it rain or snow on the moon? What would stop the rain and snow from falling on the moon? Honestly, it doesn't make any sense. It would not make any sense, I believe. Satan Forest vaccine. Just watched an X-File episode on the subject, the Mandela effect. Very interesting. Yeah, listen, my friend, very interesting subject. Also, the Mandela effect. We talked about it a couple of times here. It remains something very interesting. Again, Detroit's in the house. It's going to be a cool show across all dimensions. Yes, eyes wide open. I promise you. There's the chair going down again. I shouldn't have moved. Bonsoir. MC Pelletier, merci beaucoup. Bonne soirée à toi. Hey, you said it. Exactly. You said it before me. That's exactly it. The fourth dimension makes up the time in the 3D world. But then they go 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to look at a little article that I also saw on phys.org that they were talking about 10 dimensions. This is what scientists are talking about, all these layers over one another. So that's why, which I always like to show, because it really is cool, Bob Lazar explains bending of space and time. When UFOs travel through space and time, they cut through it instead of traveling through it. Okay, UFO over here, Earth over here, So the UFO goes right to Earth by bending space and time, and it's got no distance between them, just the hairline distance between them. And all the space and time wraps there. So they go by. And in reality, they say gravity is like that, right? So the universe must be always going like this. Must be expanding like a piece of paper all the time and going like this all the time. You can be sure. I honestly, maybe it's because I'm nuts or too basic and not smart, but I think it's simple to try to imagine how other dimensions are placed and what it looks like and what shape and forms that they have. They're still fighting on whether the universe is round or square now. Who gives a crap? it's stupid things that we fight over often. Sugar Bees in the house. Thank you very much. Get alternate worlds, you get alternate realities where maybe you go into a world and what happens is you fall upwards instead of falling downwards, and we're trying to wrap our minds around it. But Mandela effect is becoming more and more apparent. Not that CERN is fired back. Yeah, now that CERN is fired back. Not very happy that CERN is fired back up. I never really trusted that association, and of course what they're doing and the satanic rituals and cult that's wrapped around those big associations, which is extremely, well, it used to be surprising, but it's not anymore, right? Because now a lot of people know what's going on. It's pretty psychotic what's going on. It's pretty crazy, the associations and the people that are involved in satanic rituals and what they're doing. And it's coming out, though. All this truth is coming out about the rituals and everything. Even in the news today, Kanye West, Diddy, the rappers that are getting killed and everything like that. It's all coming out. The truth is coming out. All for rituals. Gabber Beast TV, hello to you. Thanks so much, man. Hey, don't be sorry, brother. I don't either. I do not. I should have masked my identity when I saw how the trolls were crying here. John Reese, how's it going, brother? Good day to you. Mary McMahon. Hi, everyone. Friday night of fun and information. We always have a good time here. Hey, Random Ralph. How's it going, man? Thanks a lot. Dark matter bleaching into the universe has something to do with it. So much is going on. So many different fields. So many different areas that people can focus on when it comes to studying space. I mean, some people become professionals about the planets and stars and comets and everything. Some people are into the energy of it all. And, there's lots of things they told us about space that are really not true, about space being freezing. And as a matter of fact, Voyager spacecraft, Voyager 1 and 2, have turned their heaters off a hell of a long time ago, back in the 80s or 90s. And they started off with those spacecraft, end of the 70s, taking off to look at Jupiter and Saturn. They continued off their mission to go to Neptune, Uranus, and all the other planets. And now they're way out there into past the heliosphere. That's the distance where the sun's heat and light reaches. They're past that, out of the solar system, into interstellar space, 122 astronomical units away. The sun is one astronomical unit from us. So you can imagine how far the Voyager is. But they didn't have to start their heaters because they assumed that far away out in space, the further they get away from the sun, everything would freeze up, that nothing would be functional. Have you ever heard in your life the space station needing to be de-iced? If they're traveling at 54,000 kilometers an hour, which I know they're not, but they say they are, because that's what the speed of the docking is when they dock, approximately. No de-icing, no ice out there in space. What about in the movies where you see all the frost come all over the face and the eyelids and everything gets blue, and you just touch the guy and poof, breaks up into little slivers of ice? That's not true. It's not true. It's not. Space isn't cold. As a matter of fact, space isn't dark. These are facts that are actually just coming out. And a lot of people are going to get very frustrated with me for saying it, but it's a fact. I'm telling you the truth. Space is bright, extremely bright. And you can tell that if they are real, those aliens, I'm going to have to get a light in that corner. If those aliens are real, okay, those sunglass like objects that they have on their eyes, obviously, I was saying it just the other day or just yesterday, the sun is blinding and we're on Earth. Could you imagine driving to the sun? How long it would be? You know that sun ride on the school bus when you were young and the damn sun was on your side and you had it in your face for 20, 30 minutes? Imagine going to the sun, how bright it would be. It would be incredible. Christopher Rollins is here. Yeah, absolutely. Kamaja Walker, thank you very much. Yes, you're right about that. It's reality. There's no craziness to it. It's crazy the fact the Russians may be talking about nuking Yellowstone. I was hearing something about that, X2 Gaming. Jeez, my bloody chair is going down again. I'm getting really pissed off about this. Sorry, guys. Am I going to have to change chairs? I don't know. There, I'm a lot taller, eh? There we go. Yellowstone, they're also scientists are saying, you know why they want to do it? Because they want to stop. It's coming. In X2, it's coming there. The explosion of Yellowstone. There's been thousands of earthquakes recently in the past few months. There, it started off with 2s and then up to 3s, 4s. So they're worried about something. Virginia, thank you very much. Virginia Baca in the house. Denver in the house. That's awesome. I'm new. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. Got UFO videos. I have a 14-inch telescope, infrared cameras. I get really cool shots of the sunspots when they're really aggressive. So I hope you enjoy the videos. Thanks for coming to the live stream. Still going, brother? Something's up in the air, though, man. I do feel that. Good evening, Bruce. When are you going to do a live stream with your telescope? That's an impossible feat for me. Here, I wouldn't be able to do it since I set it up outside the 14-inch. I don't have a computer or, anything to be able to, or equipment or to be able to film outside. And the problem me is that it's too jumpy and I don't like looking at a gray moon. I like getting in really close to the details, but I appreciate you asking though. A lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people have a channel. I find it a little boring just watching the moon from far, I like zooming in, getting in. What I don't like is the jumping around and the resetting of everything, because in my 14-inch scope, the moon goes by every 1 minute and 20 seconds. So then I realign, I go up or down, I zoom in or back up, and I have trains here extremely loud. The neighbor next door is always talking about in town and different addresses and stuff. So unfortunately, the way I'm set up here, I really wouldn't be able to. My mom saw a UFO 3 days. Thanks for asking, though. Long diamond. You'll check out the videos how I set them up, and you'll see how it's pretty good. It's really good, actually. Hey, Mr. Peter Benton. Thank you so much, sir. Hi, Bruce and everyone here. I made it to the late. Yes. Hope everyone is doing okay. Absolutely, man. We're talking about some really interesting things. Alternate universes, parallel worlds, parallel realities, other dimensions, portals. Are the ghosts in the same dimensions as where the just quite simply the other dimensions are? Is it a different area? Are the dead ones in one dimension, lower or higher? So I don't see ourselves. Thanks again, Peter. You guys can check out Peter's channel, by the way. Get some nice sun videos and moon videos too. Gabber Beast TV, also a channel that does some research. You guys can check them out. Yes, sir, man. En avance. En avance. C'est signe que c'est la fin du monde, vu que je suis en avance de même depuis quelque temps. Mais mon œil va bien. C'est peut-être pour ça. Quand ça va bien. Yes, Mary. Absolutely. Absolutely. No. But it's like people start the stream, like my brother the other day. Started a stream. He said, if I'm not talking, it's because there's nobody here. I said, yeah, but talk. Because when somebody starts a video after and they see you just sitting there because no one's there, like, what the hell's going on? Because sometimes people get ads before somebody talks and they get frustrated. I placed absolutely only limited ads here. Hey, boyfriend saw it too. Never seen a UFO in his life. My mom filmed it for 15 minutes and the video deleted itself off her phone. The 1 minute video she got showed nothing in the video. And I missed okay, there we go. And sorry, here's part one. My mom saw a UFO 3 days ago, long diamond shape, white light. Wow, interesting. Turned green and red ball, flew straight up and down again. Lots of light flashing of it wildly. The 10-minute video deleted itself from the phone. That has happened to me X number of times where I got a UFO, but more than one UFO, and I bring it inside and there's nothing in the video. I have literally the whole video, but there's nothing that shows up in it. Sometimes it only shows up when I'm looking through the camera. And as many of you don't, some of you don't know, the frame rate changes when you upload those videos. So if it's a flash of a second, these UFOs are going by, it can alter the video. Thanks again, Mary, for stopping by. Am I here or am I really there? Are we elsewhere at the same time? There's Lisa Eckerly. Hello to you, my dear friend. Thank you very much for coming by. Yeah, she was really sore for sure after her operation. I have no idea when she's going to come back. She had, like I said, she had other appointments too, to be able have to go back to the hospital to get checked to be sure that her back is healing well, to take out the stitches, I guess. I'm not heard from her, but I'll be honest with you, I am not bothering her at all. I'm waiting till she gets back up to par and everything. Adios tout le monde. Merci d'être ici, man. Bobana, good evening to you. Bruce Mods, commissioners, yes, glad to be here again tonight. I thank you very much for doing so. Crypto military vet in the house. How's it going, brother? Thanks for serving, my man. Crypto military, welcome. There you go. Coffee in a pipe and the Star family. Fam, nice. Yep. I always let this get so cold. I'm going to drink it a bit. Matt Street says, hello, ladies. Hey there, Matt Street. Leah, how's it going? Good evening, Bruce. Hello, everyone. Bruce, you are early, so I'm late. It's because we're talking about dimensions. In reality, I'm not even here yet. I'm only going to start around 8:30, but it seems like I'm here because I logged on with my other account in the alternate universe. We can do that there. Alternate realities. Secretly, thanks again for being here. And good evening to you, my dear friend. The Adventures of Kaz, hello from South Wales, United Kingdom. Thank you very much. What up, J-Dog in the house? Thanks a lot, brother. Moving right along here. Smash that like button. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Sugar bees in the house. Quebec is almost as weird as Pennsylvania could possibly be. I even say that maybe we're even a bit weirder. Yeah. I like doing weird stuff too. It's the worst of it. I'm probably the most sane one in Quebec right now. Well, along with Elias, of course. Sarah Morris, how's it going? Thanks for being here, Sarah. Hi to you. We are Friday, 24th, 2023, and we have some very cold weather here right now. Have you all seen the two very bright stars this evening in the southwestern sky? Jupiter and Saturn. aligning itself with Earth, apparently, and the moon, even though they say there won't be another alignment till 2040s or something. We're going to be a long time before seeing, what was it, the eclipse or the conjunction, the alignment. There's a lot of things that we're not going to see again for a long time. So they say. Making a BLT, that sounds really good, Margaret Leach. Hey, Margaret. Wizard Moon 13. I've had the shadow entities stand around me while in bed, paralyzed with sleep paralysis. It was terrifying. Wizard Moon 13, I really appreciate you also sharing that. That's exactly what happened at the point where I was in the room where I couldn't get out of bed. That's all I had to do was get out of bed and open the friggin' door and just turn on the light or something like that. Even, and I was paralyzed there, literally stuck there in the room. We had to actually have somebody come to the house to cleanse the house because it had gotten really bad, and salts and everything. My mother knows a lot about that too, so there was definitely a problem at the house, but it's real. I've definitely seen it. I know a lot of you have seen it too, but I wouldn't see what the use is lying about that. Actually, I'm sort of a bit shy about it, and I love talking about it though. But I talk about it with very rare people. The only person I've ever talked about it to, well, here I started this year, actually a little bit last year, opening up, even talking to podcasts about some things. I have a guy that told me, asked me if I was interested in stars, and it was in a forest. I was digging out old car parts, and we found hundreds of old Coca-Cola bottles, the blue ones. I wanted to get a couple of those, like a lot of people usually collect them. They're old bottles. Some people have them. Looking at some old lights and bumpers from some really old Ford cars. And this guy comes up. I'll say it quickly because I've said it here before. But standing in the rain with his dog, says, "You in the stars?" No. It's like, do I look like I'm in the stars, dude? I'm digging in a dump in the rain here. Things aren't going too good, okay? It's like, no, it wasn't because things weren't going too good, but we didn't look like a guy. I didn't look like a guy who was interested in stars. I said, aren't we all interested in stars? Always thinking that when before my dad died, and it's right before my dad died, he said, don't miss grandpa and don't miss your dad. If ever something happens to me, he says, I'll be on the brightest star in the sky, on the North Star. Later on, I did some research on the North Star and stuff like that. It turns out the North Star is actually what they call heaven in certain scriptures and stuff like that. So that's interesting. And the guy turns around and says, there's people up there living on the stars. I actually told him that I believe people were living up there on the stars. He says, "Oh yeah." He says, "So you're an explorer?" I said, "Yeah. I mean, where I love looking at old places, and with my friend Bob, we used to go around just in Valleyfield, did the whole history of the town, and went to a whole bunch of points to look at all the old things that used to be there in town, buried underground. We looked up the plans for the town. We were really young, but we were interested in things like that." And he says, if you're exploring like that, he says, maybe one day you'll be looking at the stars. In other words, he says, if you keep looking, if you keep searching, search and you will find. Look and you will see, or search and you will find, seek and you will find. So he says, if you're digging up for something, he goes, if you're curious and you want to know what's up on the stars, he goes, all you have to do is look. Search for yourself. I was like, okay, weirdo. Have a good day. Goodbye with your dog. He walks away with his cigarette and his dog. And I only thought of that it'll be 20 years after when I started researching the stars. I thought it was funny. In other words, we can meet. I don't know if you guys believe that, but I do. You could meet somebody in your life And maybe he'll tell you something at 21 years old, and you're going to grasp benefit and profit from that information, but only when you're maybe 48 years old, like I did. We had an incredible, very scary encounter. It must have been satanic. That's the only time I would ever say that maybe it was something dark, and it was definitely not something heavenly. In the pit, Le Sablon, it's called. It's in Saint Polycarp, Quebec. You could look it up yourself on Google Maps. The pit in Saint Polycarp, Quebec. It's near the camping. It's at the back. It used to be an old nudist colony, and not anymore. But it was also a quarry that they had there, and they dug cars. The Hell's Angels used to go party there, and apparently a lot of people were buried there and killed there in their cars. Some of them fell off the cliffs, racing and whatnot, playing chicken. So we went over there, and it's always and only when I'm with the same people that I saw the shadow with. You see, my friends, they're almost 4 or 5 brothers, but the 2 that I was hanging out with, Eric and JP, they lost their brother in a very tragic farm accident. Fell off the back of the tractor, and the driver backed up over the kid again, and then went forward over him again, and then he died there. But anyways, they witnessed it, and I'm not gonna. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk about it. It was gruesome as hell, bone chilling. So of course, he explained it in great detail. But I, I explained my dad and what happened, and they pretty gruesome accidents, and they had to go through a lot. So it remains that we're all the same age, and when we're together, a lot of things happen to us when we go camping. It sounds a little crazy, but it's true. And when I go camping, and that night that there was a big fire there, when I say big fire, must have put about 300-400 logs in it, like big logs. There was plenty of wood, all dead wood. It was just after the ice storm here, so many years after. Even now there's lots of branches and dried branches still in the woods here today in Quebec. And made a fire, and the fire completely went out. And of course, we were talking about spirits because that's all we talked about. We love talking about it. It was always interesting, and we'd always say, "Oh man, there's a spirit here right now. We know that they're going to show themselves." And then we'd hear noises, and not like the YouTube videos where we hear a crackling branch. I mean noises, like voices, and the wind completely stopped. Like we're underneath like giant trees. It's a windy day. We're by the water and some rapids in St. Polycarp. The wind completely stopped. The birds completely stopped. The fire went out. It went just like someone sucked it from the bottom, like in a film. Yeah, like a fake film, but I'm telling you the truth. Look at the fire, get up, put my hands in the fire, start pushing my hands inside of the fire, lifting up this coal, and everything's just black soot. Fire's completely out. Where's the lighter? What the hell went on? Because we were talking about spirits, drums, people talking, the drum beat from Indians. Then he starts getting scared, and somebody says, remember Eric saying it has to be, it's funny. It's somebody with a big car system, and he's playing scary satanic ritual drums or something like that. But it wasn't. There in St. Polycarp, they were actually there in their red cloaks in the center, making fire and doing satanic rituals. But when they were doing that, when us 3 were witnessing that, we tried to get closer to them. And of course, with 3 friends is always pushing the limits, where all 3 of us are really brave when we're together, right? So we're advancing, and then we start seeing that there's people there. We're saying, what the hell's going on? The things that happen in the woods that night there, when we were leaving, somebody jumped in front of the road in front of us, and it wasn't a physical person. It was like a ghost. And here they laughed at me because I went around the ghost, and they said, it'd just fly through the ghost. That was a big joke. Bruce didn't want to hit any animals, so when he saw a ghost, instead of driving through the ghost, he went around him. He looked so real. It's not like, that must be a ghost, I'm going to hit this mother. Yeah, you don't do that. You go around the person. And I had a Jetta car. with the big old 89 Jetta or whatever, with the diesel Jetta with the big long bumpers, and I just laid down about some trees about that big. And we're always seeing things together, some incredible things. It was always when we talked about his brother and when I talked about my dad, then everything would happen. It'd be we smell things, the air, we'd be creeped out, would get this incredible energy and vibe. And went back into town. What I'd seen, I'm not even going to tell you here, but it overwhelmed me to the point where I had my first awakening when I was very, very young, like before I was 20 years old. So we come back into town to finish off, and I'm drifting off here. We went back into town, went back to get more supplies because we said we're going to stay there for another week. We're going to camp there. We'll do some paranormal researching and stuff. I love doing it without any equipment. We don't need equipment. We just need to sit around. We should have had cameras, though. It would have been incredible. When I went back to the dollar store, go get some cans and bread, butter, a bunch of stuff that we wanted to pick up just coming back into town, there was a poor guy outside that was begging people for money. And when I went to walk into the door, he looked at me like freaked out with his hands up, and he goes and he hugs me and he says, "You saw him." I'm telling you guys, it freaked me out so freaking much because I did see the guy over there, that ghost in the woods. And this poor man at the dollar store said, "You saw God. You saw God." It was scaring the hell out of me. I'm telling you. And he wanted to hug me just like in a movie. Like, okay, let's dirty him up, make him look really dirty. Okay, start the movie. This guy acting weird, like blah blah blah. Couldn't even talk. But he said, "You saw him. You saw God." And the other two guys, still under the effect probably of some booze, they were like, "God, okay, let's get out of here." But those things really happened. And throughout my life, a lot of things happened like that. And it's almost always been when I've been with those guys. I mentioned it a lot here. I'm pretty sure somebody that went through a traumatic event, like for example, somebody that loses somebody, or somebody that goes to war and comes back, with the shakes. In reality, there's a name for it, the PTSD. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's at the end of my tongue. But anyways, when they come back and they get that syndrome and they shake or whatnot, and they have dreams. Anyways, very similar. I'm off track here. Celine Loves Light. There's a nice name. Yes, early. You guys are so late. Why are you guys so late? Yes, don't kill the chair. It's living. It's just on its last breath, I think. Atlantis is found. Thanks for coming back, you guys. Gary, what's up, what's up, brother? Yep, over the target. That's 100%. That's why the views are low. I'm doing pretty well, Lisa. Thank you very much. Pretty well. Things are getting better. Tuning in from the UK, Joel Burgess. Thank you, or Burgess. Thanks for coming back, brother. Tuning in from the UK, we could also maybe have a chat about the light box. Yes, absolutely, man. It's about photons and light, electrons and neurons and more. Absolutely, man. You know what? We should make it a final if you want, or something. The next stream, 8 o'clock stream on Friday. Oh, hang on. We got also Monday streams. It's a bit early. We got Wednesdays at 5. Yeah, you could definitely come on screen with me if you want to talk about that or anything, man. That'd be absolutely cool. Sounds like a plan. J Dog, a ghost told me. Why is everything disappearing? Hang on here. And he's back. Ghost told me to get the hell out of my friend's house. I know they exist. That I've had somebody that told me that they had that. Never happened to me yet. That's not happened to me yet. That would be probably the worst. Like literally the worst thing. I've heard Bruce That was creepy as freaking hell. Really, really deep, intense, strict voice. Bruce. Oh shit. When I was upstairs, the guy that lived here in this house before me, and well, there was another owner right after um, he passed away, but I'm sleeping right in his room. You know that the house, I'm renting it out, but I found out by the owner of this house that the guy had died upstairs, and I was like, oh crap. Okay, so I do have um an actual poltergeist here. That is something. And guys, I did get some movement for real. And made a video. I'm someone who's been so lucky to have been able to get that UFO that came down to the house, and I was able to film it ever so close. I might never get that again. Then I saw. I'm gonna have to show that other video again. The UFOs that I filmed lifting up off the surface with the infrared camera, and that they disappeared. That was two groups of divisions of 3 UFOs that were rising up right from under the tree lines and posts. This summer, I have a feeling that we're going to see some more, and that's right beside the border there. I'll be checking that out for sure. Yeah, the shadow people in the Shadowlands. But it's crazy because I could see on the other side there. You literally see on the other side, but that shadow that took over my friend's shadow, which, listen, I'm not stupid. I know you don't have to tell me that a shadow is just a reflection. It's not a physical object. But I did some research, and there's some weight to darkness. There's a little bit of weight to light also. San Francisco would weigh almost 100 pounds more with all the sunlight around it. Weird, eh? Do the research. It's true. So for whatever the reason, they were able to show themselves that way. I believe that there's an entrance from the other side. And you can't help but wonder, parallel world, if literally the other side is freaking one of our shadows. What the hell's that about? It's because that person is not my friend, was not my friend's shadow. But for him to come in the physical world, he can only be seen by light or darkness, right? And that's why we saw him. It's like simple explanation. It's true. It's a quite simple explanation. The only way you can cross over into the physical world and to be seen, you have to be seen if there's light. If there's no light, you're not going to see anything. That's for sure. But it used darkness. So in reality, it was like a black hole. I couldn't see anything in the shadow, just a silhouette, but all around it was light. That's screwed up. That's pretty screwed up when you think of it. And it's all real. Joe, thank you very much for coming by. Josh is back. What up, brother? Scarlet, Matador 153. Henotheism. I don't remember what that is. I've looked that up before. I had a shadow darker than the dark side. Well, that was the story. I don't know. It's because you heard it, or when I had said it the first time. It's a darker than dark shadow that came in my room. It was pitch black in my room, but I could see 3 or 4 figures that were glossy black in the darkness, where they were darker than the darkness, but they were shiny, and I could see them. Darker than the dark, standing next to my bed one night while I was going to sleep years ago. Scared enough to wake you the hubby up. I believe it, Sugar Bee. I was alone. I was young, and I saw that, and they were tall, but they had the hoods. That shadow there, my friend Shadow, he became his own person because he had a hoodie on, and my friend didn't have a hoodie on. And at the beginning, when the shadow stopped, there was no hoodie. So, hey, that shadow even grabbed a freaking knife on the table that was in front of it, guys. Was going like this, was trying to stab JP and us, and he was looking left and right. And I look at Eric. I said, "He's yapar. He's afraid." I said, "This shadow is afraid of us guys. What the hell?" Then Eric, I remember him karate chopped the 3 candles. Tuck tuck tuck. Got wax all over his couch. And yeah, and that, listen, there was no ritual being done. There was no magic. We weren't playing Ouija or nothing. He was moving out, okay, and the electricity was off that morning um, on the apartment, and we were moving him out. It closed off the electricity himself, and that happened because we opened some flashlights. So when we finished off, to sit down, take a break, grab, order a pizza to have something to eat before taking off, and it happened right there. And it's creepy because you know what? It happened in the apartment when there was no electricity. And where that object appeared was beside the candles, because objects, ghosts, entities can appear um, because of a light. And I knew that it was definitely something. It was something rich, something magical, or maybe even satanic that I did with the candle, and that we said, because we were talking about Lucky Luke. We were talking about being faster than Lucky Luke. And Lucky Luke, I said, I turned around and I looked at them and I said, guys, Lucky Luke is faster than his shadow. So we told JP, I asked JP, are you faster than your shadow? That's when it all started, guys. It's something I've never repeated it again. And it was like, it was like a spell. You know what I'm trying to say? Without knowing it, it's like I said a certain word or something that caused something to happen. But again, only when we're us 3 together, things like that happen, and they happen a lot. They happen every time that we've ever met each other together. There's always been something happening. At one point, it was another vehicle that came into an area, a parking lot, where all 4 of us, actually, one of his other brothers, Gaetan, was there, and the car came up to our car. It was a police officer, took his flashlight out, staring at us. So I get out of the car. You know, obviously, like the cops, they're freaked out. They see 4 guys in the car. So I get out and I went to see the police officer, and I said, "We're just here in the back in the parking, sir, just shooting the shit, talking. You know, my friend lives up there in the apartment, and we're just in the back in the car, sitting, talking, chilling with the windows open. You know, which would have sounded weird." Police officer didn't reply to me. I was 2 feet from him. Never replied to me. He continued looking at my chest with the flashlight, and then turned the flashlight off and left. Another thing that happened when I was with Eric, that's another thing. The invisibility cloak. We were invisible. Sounds nuts, eh? Yeah, I swear to God, we were absolutely invisible. He didn't see us at all. Didn't see. He saw it, he saw the car because he was looking at the car, but he didn't see me when I got out. Nuh-uh. That's what I said. I believe there's a reality for every possibility. I believe that too. 100%. Yes. Yes, that's exactly it. 4th dimension is time. And as a matter of fact, let's see here. Come on, come on. I think it's here. It's actually on the website where I always go, but I didn't know that we're talking about this. Very interesting. When someone mentions, different dimensions, we tend to think of things like parallel universes, alternate realities. That in reality, those parallels worlds exist in our own realm, but they're like other dimensions, but yet still on the same plane. It's hard to understand. But where things work or happen differently, also. However, the reality of dimensions and how they play a role in the ordering of our universe is really quite different from this popular characterization, which is, I thought was interesting. It's on one of my websites that I trust and observe. Often I go to see what they have to say, the smart people. So to break it down to you all, the dimensions are simply, and this is just one theory, right? This is one way of seeing it. Dimensions are simply the different facets of what we perceive to be reality. I can have a hard time with that one in reality because I believe that reality or not, there's another physical dimension there. The elements and states of matter can be absolutely different there, absolutely different, but I still believe in other dimensions. We are immediately aware of the three dimensions. That's the one I talked to you about that surround us on a daily basis. Those that define the, like I said, the length, the width, and the depth of all objects in our universe. So the X, the Y, and the Z axis, right? Respectively. Beyond these three visible dimensions, scientists today believe that there may be many more. In fact, the theoretical framework of superstring theory posts that universe exists in 10 different dimensions. These different aspects are what govern the universe, the fundamental forces of nature, and all the elementary particles contained within them. The first dimension, as already noted, like I said, is that which gives it the length, aka the x-axis, right? A good description of one dimension object is a straight line. I said a string, so straight line, which exists only in terms of length and has no other discernible qualities, no up, no down, no nothing. Add to it as second dimension the y-axis, height, right? And then you get also height, depth, same thing. And you get an object that becomes a two-dimensional shape like a square. The third dimension involves the depth, z-axis, and gives all objects a sense of area and a cross section. So that sense of area and the cross section is very interesting because when you're looking at your car in a parking lot and you're walking away from it, you turn around and you look and you go, holy crap, the car's, wow, we're far from the car. Ever happened to you? You said that? You expect maybe the car not to look so small. When you turn around, you go, holy crap, it's the way that we perceive it. Good description. That was the first. A third involves, okay, and gives you a sense of the area and a cross section. The perfect examples of this is a cube, by the way, which exists in three dimensions. So to give you an idea, it has the length, the width, the depth, and hence volume. Beyond these lie the seven dimensions. So we already found out about the three, but now hold on. The third dimension is that. We're going to talk about the fourth dimension after. Dimensions has, like I said, length, width, depth, and hence the volume. Beyond these three lie the seven dimensions, which are not immediately apparent to us. That's everything, the other side, l'au-delà, everything that's around us, right? But which can still be perceived as having a direct effect on the universe and reality as we know it. Scientists believe that the fourth dimension is actually time, which governs the properties of all known matter at any given point. So it governs the properties of all known matter at any given point, along with the three other dimensions. Knowing any object's position in time is essential to plotting its position in the universe. So that's where time exists. Right? We ask the question, does time exist? I believe it does, because there's a time for this, there's a time for that, but it's a tool for us to be able to know how long of a wait, if you want to do a certain thing. If we say in 3 weeks the sun's coming back, if there's no concept of time, there's no concept of understanding length, right? Does that make sense? That's so the fourth dimension, time, which governs the properties of all known matter at any given point, along with the three other dimensions. Knowing any object's position in time is essential to plotting its position in the universe. Makes sense. The other dimensions are where the deeper possibilities come into play, and other deeper theories, of course. And explaining their interaction with others is where things get particularly tricky for physicists. You better be a smart physicist, that says. Yes. According to superstring theory, the fifth and sixth dimension, and this is interesting, are where the notion of possible worlds arises. A notion, don't forget, this is theory. If we could see on through to the break on through to the other side, to the fifth dimension, we would see a world slightly different from our own that would give us a means of measuring the similarity and differences between our world and other possible ones. In the sixth dimension, we would possibly see a plane of possible worlds. So maybe that's like in what I'm telling you, all the dimensions are over one another, but still compressed into one plane. So now we're getting lower or higher, depending on how you want to look at it. There's no up or down in space, they say. So in the sixth, we would see a plane of possible worlds where we could compare and position all the possible universes that start with the same initial conditions as this one. Example, the Big Bang Theory. In theory, if you could master the fifth and sixth dimension, you could travel back in time or go to different futures. Okay. In the seventh dimension, there's coffee. Were you taking the bet on if I was going to take a third sip? There's no time in concept, so I don't really feel like I'm making you guys wait. In the seventh dimension, different futures. That's odd. In the seventh dimension, you have access to the possible worlds that start with different initial conditions. Again, this is just theory. Smart, but it's still just theory. Whereas in the fifth and sixth, the initial conditions were the same and subsequent actions were different. Okay. Here, mustache hair. Everything is different from the very beginning of time. The eighth dimension, so we're traveling back into time, then into the past. Are other dimensions just the past? So, like from the past, has a dimension been created for every step through time, and you just go back down the stairs to go back to the first dimension? I don't think so. Subsequent actions were different here. Everything is different from the very beginning of time. The eighth dimension, again, gives us a plan. Are you lost yet? A plan of such possible universes' histories. Again, we're going back in time, I think. Each of which begins with different initial conditions and branches out infinitely. So that's their way of not talking about the rest, but it's smart because I agree with it that it branches out infinitely. And that branching out infinitely for me is, imagine a big pool of spaghetti noodles, and all those dimensions are intertwined and, like literally hugging themselves. I literally see like that, or that the whole universe and the whole all the other possible worlds, right down to the deepest galaxy. Imagine if it was just a simple rod where everything's in that tube. Doesn't, it could be circular, it could be like a rod, it could be anything. It's, I can't even begin to wrap my mind around all the possibilities of how all these dimensions can be. So the eighth dimension, again, gives us a plane of such possible universes' histories, each of which begins with different initial conditions, and branches out infinitely. Hence, why they are called infinities. In the ninth dimension, we're almost at the end, we can compare all the possible universe histories starting with all, what are they talking about? I think it's pretty lame. In the ninth dimension, we can compare all the possible universe histories, starting with all the different possible laws of physics and initial conditions in the 10th and final dimension. Why would you say a final dimension? If there are 10 dimensions, there are 100 dimensions. We arrive, I'm just saying that, we arrive at the point in which everything possible and imaginable is covered. Beyond this, nothing could be imagined by us, lowly mortals. I'd you'd be surprised what humans can come up with, which makes it the natural limitation of what we can conceive in terms of dimensions. The existence of these additional six dimensions, which we cannot perceive, is necessary for string theory, anyways, in order for there to be consistency in nature. The fact that we can perceive only four dimensions of space can be explained by one of two mechanisms. Either the extra dimensions are compactified. I see, great minds think alike, but in reality, it's not because of that. It's that I think the youngest child can sit down and imagine it. It only goes so many ways. So I like hearing that word, compactified. Guys, I really believe that. Believe that all those dimensions that are all, look at like CB radio waves. That's how skip is created. The more people that are in the same frequency, the higher up the frequencies go and travel high, and they can go all the way to Florida from here over a skip on a good day. Well, imagine all the dimensions being like that, but then all one over each other, and then they're all compactified. I said compressed on one line, and that's where I believe all the energy is, the density, the densest area, and that is a wall of space and time. It's the fabric, is what I believe is the fabric. Sounds nuts. In the 10th and final case, so in the ninth dimension, we can compare universe history, starting with all the different possible laws of physics and initial condition. In the 10th and final dimension, we arrive at the point in which everything possible and imaginable is covered. I read that, sorry. Beyond this, nothing can be imagined. Okay, I read that too. The existence of these additional six dimensions, which we cannot perceive, is necessary for string theory in order for there to be consistency in nature. Damn it, I read that too. Hold on. Perceive only four dimensions of space can be explained by one of two mechanisms. There we go. Either three extra dimensions are compactified on a very small scale, infinitely small, infinitely big, right? Or our world may live on a three-dimensional submanifold corresponding to a brain. Okay, slow down here. On which all known particles besides gravity would be restricted, aka brain theory. I guess I'm not a brain. I don't know anything about the brain theory. If the extra dimensions are compactified, like Bruce said, then the extra six dimensions must be in the form of a Calabi-Yau manifold. And the image in reality, it's like a bowl of spaghetti. So basically what I'm saying, um, and there's the theory of everything, the belief that the universe is made up of 10 dimensions or more. So, yes, yay, there's more. Depending on which model of string theory you use, is an attempt to reconcile the standard model of particle physics with the existence of gravity. In short, it is an attempt to explain how all known forces within our universe interact and how other possible universes themselves might work. This, it's totally theoretical, but honestly, I think it would be impossible for there not to be anything else outside of this. So, yeah, internet is definitely a freaking dimension, maybe part of a dimension of our mind. Hey, No Taz knows. Thank you very much from Ohio in the house. Thank you so much. Troll in the house. Hey, where is it? Let me add it. Let me add him or her. Where? Hey, third time today, Evelyn Saba. You're not sick of me yet? Yes, the incredible shrinking man. You look at the beginning of the stream, my head's here, and then it's going down, it's going down, it's going down. Hey, Bruce lost some weight, and he's shorter. Always some interesting conversations. Bye, Chris. Hey, JDR, thanks for coming back, man. Yeah. A whole other subject. That's another one I was looking up this afternoon. Where is that site? That was interesting. What was I reading before? Yeah. So interdimensional. So it's a measure of spatial extent, especially width, height, and length. Exactly like you said. Exactly. Interdimensional. Often dimensions extend extent or a magnitude or the scope of. Absolutely interdimensional. There's also the interdimensional being is another thing that's interesting. An interdimensional being, also extra dimensional, intra dimensional, and ultra delusional, as we have here on the site, suggests an entity that can time travel and move out of the physical body into a spiritual one. Isn't that horrifying? An interdimensional being. And that's exactly why my friend there mentioned it exactly, talking about interdimensional being. The NASA website has a somewhat dated article called The Science of Star Trek by physicists. I don't care. I'm not going to read that. The time travel. You see, that's what they want to do. When people talk about time travel or interdimensional beings, they refer you to movies, they're not going to send you to an intelligent scientific conversation online that's being held about interdimensionals. I believe that not everyone is bad. JDR, superstar in the house. I don't believe all the entities are bad. And I believe like any association is good and bad. Any religion, you got good and bad people. Any probably other being or race or entity, you would have some good and bad. There's only, look at it the way you want, two-dimensional when it comes to it. Like, what do you want to be? You can only be good or bad, right? That's interesting when you think of it, right? I can go up, I can go down, I can go left and right, I can go out in depth wise, front, back, left and right, up and down. I can go off diagonally, which is between the 2 points of left and up and over the down. There's got to be another switch or angle where it could just cross over to another dimension. It's so friggin' interesting because it exists. Other dimensions exist for real. That's the exciting part. Beth Noyce, thanks again, Bruce, for the excellent coverage and research. Thanks a lot, Beth. In these crazy times, love you all. Love you more, Beth. Thank you very much. Yes, we are definitely in crazy times. Let's bring that chair back up. Oh, this is funny. I'm back. See myself going down. Yeah, listen, when my dad died, any kid's going to want to find out where he went, and any kid's going to probably try to look for him to try to connect or get a message and talk to him at night and say, Dad, I miss you, Dad, I miss you, Dad, I miss you. And then all of a sudden something happens, portal opens up, boom, you're connected to another side because of the trauma, because of something. I'll tell you what, it's related to your brain, definitely related to your heart and soul. And that's all I can say about it. How do people cross over to the other side? And how can someone cross over to see you? Brain, soul, and heart. Interdimensional beings, be careful and talk about the possession of someone. Someone can be possessed. We have the Catholic priests and the priests that do exorcisms. What the hell? I was talking about resurrections. No, I don't. Hope they don't do that. Yeah, exorcisms. They're not allowed filming them. Imagine, unfortunately. If not, we'd have a lot of proof. But apparently, it's something very common. People do get possessed, and demon-like entities can enter them. Apparently, the levitation floating over the beds are real. Of course, you look at the Exorcist movie. There's some things that they added in there. Like I remember the priest, the literal priest that did an Exorcist said, they don't turn their heads around because it goes that they die, But they do a lot of things like throwing up and whatnot. I found a suitcase. There goes my chair. I found a suitcase in Grand Isle, Quebec, actually, right beside the end of Valleyfield. Actually, it's near the old CIL company where they're actually creating bombs for Ukraine right now. Actually, oops, right in Valleyfield. So at the end there, I saw a suitcase. My friend Bob stops the truck and says, what's that? And I said, well, I want you to pull over. I want to pick up something. He goes, well, what is it? And I said, it's a suitcase, dude. It's a leather suitcase. It's weird. It's at the end, right of the road, and somebody dumped it. I want to see if there's something good in it. And he goes, it's probably full of crap. Anyway, we fought about it. Pulled over. It was a priest's, an old priest's suitcase of when he used to do exorcisms. Pictures in it, crosses, purple robe thing. Everything was in it. Everything was in it. Me, when I was young, I found some things that also that I brought back home, and I think that could have maybe for sure amplified the fact that things occur sometimes. But for someone to say that there's a poltergeist in their house, you have to have some movement, and I've seen the objects move and levitate too, which is very extremely scary. I get excited more than I am afraid when something happens spiritually, but when it comes to the movement of objects, I'm not so sure when that happens because I tend to think that it's maybe like I'm not crazy. I know negative things exist. I tend to think maybe it could be something negative sometimes. Hello again, Bruce. Third time today. Thanks again, eh? My New Zealand friends in the house. Always nice to see you guys. I hope you're not stuck in the rain again. Oh, we got the beautiful kid images up. Yay. Kids, we love those kids, don't we? We got to protect them. Tony, thanks a lot, man, for stopping by. Watch the movie, says Eyes Wide Open. I watched a movie the other night called Parallel, where they find a mirror in an old house that can slip through dimensions. That rings a bell, actually. Parallel. I think that rings a bell. Yep, those are interesting ones. That's another thing. Timsy Skies, good day to you, man. Thank you. Mirrors are another apparently portal to the other side also, right? They talk about mirrors in the past and whatnot. That remains something interesting for sure. Love and kisses from California. Yeah, thank you. California, thank you so much. I agree with you about CERN. Don't trust them at all. I do not trust them, not one bit. Yeah, that's what they're doing, Tony. They're literally opening portals. But what I heard is that some good people have taken it over. There's a lot of people telling me that. I'm not sure. I know that they were not doing good things, that's for sure. But if what people said is true, well, so be it. I have a hard time believing it, but we'll see. Aleaos, merci beaucoup, mon frère, les contributions. Thanks, brother. Thank you very much, sir. David Donlin, back in the house. Was given bad info. Thanks for the prayers, but I'm just glad she was wrong. 4 days of heck for me, but it's glad it's grown a lot. Thanks. So, hey, really? So this is good news. You mean you're giving bad info when you? So I guess you've been spending days going there, and they're telling you possible this or possible that because David was about cancer, talking about cancer. That's crazy stuff. She was wrong. 4 days of heck for me, but just glad it's grown a lot. So either so is this possible removing it? I just hope you're not in pain, man. So sending you more energy and love, brother. Did last night too, by the way. To you, to Dave's. There, JDR just said it himself right there. Yeah, that's the word that I was looking for is the hackers, the white hats. Don't worry about CERN. Apparently the white hats are in control. And that's what we want. There we go again. My chair going down. That's who we want to have in control, eh? Hey, thank you guys for the generous contributions. David, thanks, man. Keep us informed, brother. Yeah, Tony, CERN is opening portals. They're smashing negative eons together and particles. They go down a tube. This one particle goes down a tube, and then they separate it, and they have it go down another tube and meet face to face and smash. And they're doing this 1 billion times per second. There's 1 billion collisions at CERN every single second. Could you imagine that? It goes around 1 second, pow, it registered on the computer. Goes back around again, pow, they register on the computer. So what they're doing with that, they're opening little bubbles, they're opening black holes. And the black holes, apparently, from what they say, are small black holes. They don't stay open forever. Hell no. It can kill us if these idiots open a black hole, but that doesn't stop opening, or that it remains right here in our atmosphere, a black hole. It could destroy our weather, it could destroy us, it could suck up Earth into the black hole, right? Even though black holes don't suck up planets. That's another myth. A black hole will consume a planet over a long period of time. What actually happens is that the closer, because some stars exist around black holes and they're okay, but they change shapes. So they get elongated. They could be oval. They could be like squished, like a pill shape or pill form, depending on also how fast neutron stars are flying around. I've seen neutron stars, not seen them, but I've heard of them going around so fast, side by side, binary system, two neutron stars, that the stars are completely flat and sort of flattish, like a pill shape, like elongated, and it eats apart planets. That's what black holes do. When the planet gets close to the black hole, it rips it apart. It breaks apart in so many pieces. Then it creates a whole bunch of debris, a debris field, one layer around it, higher up with big pieces, or actually the opposite. The big pieces are close to the black hole. The smaller pieces up a bit higher up, and that can take up to 100,000 years for that black hole to actually consume all that dust. It's not like in the movies when they say that planets can go through black holes. Unfortunately, I thought it myself like 2 years ago, just myself. I mean, they say that planets can be consumed by black holes, but it's not the way we think. That's how they go back into the past. But they can't go back into the past 1,000 years or 10,000 years. Not yet, anyways. They can only go back to the starting point of a mission. For example, if they leave Earth and they go around a black hole, well, they'll go back to the starting point of before or when they left. But going into the past, wanting to go into the past to look at your graduation and sit with some people watching yourself, I don't think it can be done. They say when you go back into the past, well, you'll be stuck in a parallel world. You can go back the same date that you were born, but you might not see yourself, or you'll see yourself there, but you're not going to be actually living through what you lived through. You could be another person. You could be fatter. You could be thinner. That's another thing that they're talking about, which is interesting. Wrapping your mind around that, isn't it incredible? Yeah, there's that. Solar head, how's it going? Sky is blue, yet it turns black as one goes up. Yeah, exactly. So in reality, it's not blue, right? So that is the optical illusion of our eyes. The same way that we see the sun and the redness, there's the blue factor, the light that we don't see, the blue light. We see it as blue light, and that's an optical illusion, apparently. So they say. Is Casa Nostra here? I did not see him. Thank you very much, Casa Nostra. That's a good one. There's Gate Smasher. Gate Smasher says, hello, everyone. And Bruce, if math equations say that math is infinite as well as many dimensions, are we to believe that, or is it 2 times 2 is 5? Yeah, exactly. I don't know anymore. It could be 4, it could be 5, actually, right? When you think of it. That's not calling the house. Thanks, you guys. David, everybody. Vast thinker in the house. Thank you very much for being here. The heliosphere is a gravitational sphere caused by the sun's activity. It's like a protective shield the sunlight carries on forever. Yeah, well, outside of the heliosphere, the point where the furthest part of the heliosphere is where the furthest part of light, energy, and heat reaches from the sun, and that's interstellar space. The heliosphere is right at the end of the solar system. Then we go into interstellar space, and that's where they were surprised because apparently it's not as cold as they thought it was. So they're saying, thank you very much, Discog. Thanks, you guys. And to anyone I'm missing, I'm going back up here. There she is, Lisa B. Thank you, Lisa B. Much love to you, Moon Man, and super awesome BSA family. Our Darla is back. So very grateful. Yes, I am grateful. I don't know if she's here tonight, but she's back home, I think. And like I said, she'll have a couple of rendezvous most likely so that they'll check up on her because she, just to be sure, because she got operated on her back, but I heard she was doing good. Thank you so much, Lisa B. That's a lot. Thanks, you guys. One day you're going to find out that the majority of planets and moons are very reasonable in temperature. I don't know about atmosphere because Saturn sounds pretty nasty. Yeah, I absolutely know about it. Like the moon, it's just like here. There's definitely vegetation, there's atmosphere and stuff. And I believe that also most of the planets. I say it often myself here. Vast thinker, absolutely. That the planets, the majority of planets and moons are very reasonable in temperature. That's why the pits. Thanks again, Lisa. David, adios. My chair is sinking. I'm sinking into the end of the world as we know it. And we're back. My big ass up to height. I hope the world finds that out. I believe that 100%, but I hope the world will find that out. You get me hungry now. Yep, absolutely. They say it smells like burnt steak, burnt meat. That's absolutely true. Space is not cold either. It's a lot warmer than we think. I would say space is super windy. We're entering a realm or a dimension we were once in. The ascension. You see, that's another beautiful thing that you just reminded me of. Um, The solar system is traveling around at 780,000 miles an hour. The sun is traveling around the Milky Way and travels around the Milky Way once in many lifetimes. Many lifetimes before it crosses over, we'll never see it. So when we look at the stars and we say, holy shit, I've never seen Jupiter and Saturn go down like that. I've never seen this. I've never seen that. We're always in movement. We're always in movement, supposedly rotating. I beg to differ on that one, Earth rotating or not, but I won't get into it too much. In an elliptical orbit, right? Elliptical, I think, like an elastic. We're being shot around the sun. We're not necessarily in a circle around the sun. The climate, the atmosphere is all based on Earth's axis at the same time and Earth's shape of its orbit around the sun. So whether it's being flung really far around the sun before it comes back or taking longer, I believe we will see a difference in the position of where the sun is and everything. But we're always in movement. So where we are right now, since the sun is always going around the galaxy, it takes hundreds of thousands of years for it to get around the galaxy, but we're always going and rotating around the sun. So that means the sun, as the sun's going around the Milky Way, you got Earth that's going like this all the time. So it's getting to see a whole bunch of different areas as this sun is going around the Milky Way, never to come back to the same area, by the way, in our lifetime. Many lifetimes before it comes back in the same area. We're just used to seeing the same stars in the sky. But in reality, the whole solar system is traveling like a crazy carpet, but most likely like this, like a wave, right? I'm giving you good vibration. Surfing USA, surfing across the plane, which is, why would it smell like burnt meat? I'll tell you why it smells like burnt meat. We could be inside someone's body and we're really small. No, that'd be creepy, eh? It smells like burnt meat because of all the friction and static and whatnot. But why meat? Eh? They say Stonehenge was a portal. Yep, that's what they say. When solstice time, they would use Stonehenge to travel around the earth like a shortcut to other stone structures. Yeah, because the future, thanks, man. The electricity that they were using and everything is not that it's primitive, but it's something that we're not familiar with. They're starting to find, I don't know if you've seen it, it's the most incredible thing to see. And it just makes sense. They knew how to melt rock, right? So do I now because of YouTube, but they knew how to melt rock. And they would melt the rock and make like an alternator with all this copper wiring going around a tubing inside of this melted stone that's placed inside of like a pyramid beside a certain type of stone with healing powers or some produces energy. They had electricity, I believe, in the ancient civilizations and cultures. They literally had energy. And you want to know how they made the pyramids and how they cut the pyramids? I guarantee you, I will fight. Well, no, because I like debating and I'm open minded, but I will fight to a T in a debate with anybody that wants to tell me that they did not cut the stones with frequency and not just any frequency through sound, certain level of frequency, low or high frequencies. I've seen it done. It's on YouTube. It's absolutely incredible. They have a wire, this brass turned in a weird way. It's on a machine that's setting out different gigahertz, different hertz from low frequency to high frequency. Low buzz is like depending on the level that you're at, you can make other objects beside it rotate and turn like ball bearings turn, but it cuts the friggin' stone. Like a cylinder, an empty cylinder, like, an empty cylinder, a tube, a metallic tube, you put it on a rock and you put that wire quite simply connected to it, and you send the sound through the wire, beep, that vibration cuts right through the stone. It takes minutes. You see that rod go down inside of the stone. Back in the days, that's how they were cutting massive, massive stones with the frequencies. So, how do you think they were putting the stones over one another? With the frequency. The frequency of the sound long enough for them to be able to lift it up themselves, just with the frequency that's connected to the rock, depending on what type of rock. So they were really advanced when it came to metallurgy and knowing about precious metals and stones and stuff. They were far more advanced than we are today, that's for sure. But I believe we are entering a realm or a dimension that we were once in before. Maybe we completed a circle, depending on how you want to look at it. I do believe that we are going to be saved. We're living in good times. You know, some of us will not make it, and some of us will have some people that we know around us that maybe pass on. But in general, humankind will never end. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure all the other dimensions are like literally jam-packed with other humans and maybe other types of beings also. Absolutely, JDR. The sun, like a lot of you came here, you guys told me that the sun is no longer yellow. You see it very white because, be honest with you, the more I look at it there, it's because it's so strong. I think that's what it is. And also the sun has an extra ray. I don't know if you know what I mean. Usually you get a picture of the sun, it's like a star with the two rays. Now when you take a picture, it's like 1, 2, there's 8 rays around the sun. It's really agitated. I was able to film it this morning really, really quickly. I'll be staying up late this evening, obviously, for you all to get another video up. Yeah, are we there yet? I think we're getting there, and I think that's why the evil on earth is coming up, because they know that they're at the end of their britches, is the way I see it. Trinity is more than God, the creator of creation and his kids. Amen to that. Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. All three of them. Suzanne. Bus walked uphill both ways, Bruce. You walked. That's why you're thin and I'm fat. Hey, I lost a couple pounds from doing some walking. There's no lightness in my step yet, but I'm getting there. If all the planets are warming up, not just the Earth. Yes. JDR, 100%. I was talking about that. Peter, thanks again, amen. I was talking about that a couple of months ago. If all the planets are warming up, not just the Earth. So I see a domino effect where the climate changes. As even myself a couple of years ago, I used to perceive it as, you know, the Earth is changing and all the other planets have different times and periods that they change too. No, I think that it's a domino effect. I think that it's the whole bloody solar system that is getting warmer. And people tell me, is it something else that's in the solar system? Is it Nibiru, Planet X, Wormwood, Nemesis, Planet 9? All the different names that I'm learning from my Planet X fans, people that come by, saying that maybe something large is in. Thanks, Tony. Maybe something large is in our solar system. Yeah, that's last resort, J-Dog. You know it. That fixes everything. You feel less professional when the duct tape's on it, though. That's the feeling that I get. Russia going to see. Yeah, yes, infrareds. Yes, frequencies to the destruction of Yellowstone. I believe they're not going to stop it. It's all going to happen. Absolutely. Tav in the house. Good vibes to you and all. Thank you very much, Tav. Appreciate that. Welcome. Yeah, I hear you, Lisa, on that. They're worried about Yellowstone. It's about to explode. It takes Neptune over 300 years to make one pass around the sun. There you go. Imagine the lifespan there. Yeah. Frig, man, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, they live a long time. Boy, if I was on Mercury, man, you wouldn't fuck with me. I'd be one heavy dude. Boy, I would be one heavy dude on Mercury, boy. I tell you what, I I'd be smashing into the ground 6 feet every time I take a step. Hold on here, I want to see something. Mercury is so dense, it would be just so bloody heavy. If you weigh 400 pounds on Earth, I don't weigh 400, but let's say you weigh 400 pounds on Earth, you would weigh, oh, what? So I always thought it'd be heavier on Mercury. That is so stupid. It's the opposite, guys. I was wrong. If you weigh okay. If you weigh 100 pounds on Earth, you would weigh 38 pounds on Mercury. Okay, so no, that's where I want to go. That's where I want to go. Because in reality, on Mercury, I would be only 70 pounds, something like that. That's really awesome. Ugh, ugh. Ticklish energy, electricity coming from the friggin' microphone. Its gravity would pull less on your body on Mercury. On the other hand, if that's Jupiter, that's what I was talking about. You were on Jupiter, you weighed 100 pounds here, you'd weigh 250 pounds on Jupiter. So I am 250. Ain't gonna hide it. I'm a big guy. Not too many bulges, just big guy. And yeah, I would be close to 600 pounds on Jupiter. Wouldn't want to live there. Then I'd be driving into the ground. I was wrong about Mercury. That was interesting. And gravity on Mercury is not the same as on Earth. Surface gravity of Mercury is less than the surface gravity on Earth. The surface gravity on Mercury is only about 38% of the surface gravity on Earth. Oh, we'd be bouncing around like on the moon. Boing, boing. You know, it'd be really fun, man? Playing baseball on Mercury. The guy's all pissed off. What's the matter? We're playing in Jupiter this morning. Oh, damn it. Home run's going to be like, that's funny thinking of that. The Romans knew of 7 bright objects in the sky: the sun, the moon, and the 5 brightest planets. They named them after the most important gods because Mercury was the fastest planet as it moved around the sun. It was named after the Roman messenger god Mercury. Mercury was also the god of travelers, according to myth. He had a winged hat and sandals. I see myself like that. That's me. I'm Mercury. Funny, funny, funny. Interesting things when you think of it, eh? Thank you, Mr. Elios. Thank you, brother. Yeah, 300 years. That's like the comet C 2022 E3 ZTF that we just saw go by in February, end of January, beginning of February, went by the sun, went by Earth. That comet comes by every 53,000 years, guys. So that means the last time that the comet C 2022 E3 ZTF came by was when there were Neanderthals here on Earth. So it has one hell of a long trajectory around the sun where it takes 53,000 years to come back to Earth. That's just mind-boggling. MT, happy Friday to you too. Thank you so much, you guys, for stopping by. Carol West, thank you. Thank you so much for being a member, my dear friends. I love you for it. Thanks a lot. When it's warmer, I can't wait till it gets warmer here, actually. From Jackson, Tennessee. Hello, Sally Burleson. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Why is everything jumping around here? Was everybody was picking on me? Clarksville here. Yes. It's already humid here in Louisiana, 75 degrees. Oh boy. Here it's minus 23, minus 24 degrees. Yeah, you see, that's what happened, Sugar Bee. It's like we barely had a winter. This friggin' chair is driving me nuts. And we're back. Barely had a winter, January, no snow. First snow here, January 17th. But you know what happened? As of January 17th, winter hit. It was freaking ridiculous. The storms that we're having here right now. Had another storm yesterday. There's probably some more or another one on the way. I have no idea. It's like our government did on the Twin Towers. Yep. The Penta. Yep. Pennsylvania plane. Exactly. Government stinks. The only plane was the only one in Pennsylvania. Absolutely. It was all inside, eh? It was all an inside thing, apparently. I'm at time mark 8:12. Let me scroll down here. Royal Farrell, sorry. Royce Farrell. Hey, Bruce, thank you. Thank you, man. Something is brewing for sure. It's nice to have a forum where we can have an intelligent discussion. Absolutely. We can talk about absolutely anything here, you guys. Here watching Bruce. I wonder what I'm doing in the next dimensions. That's the interesting thing with parallel worlds. If there's a parallel world out there, there could be another world where you are out there. You could be with another woman. You could be with another guy. You could be a woman. You could be a guy. Like to think I'd be the same. As a matter of fact, maybe when you astral travel, you're using another part of you in another dimension. So look at it the way science says it. If science says that this universe, our 3D world, is made up of those 10 dimensions that are compactified, would there be a parallel world with us doing the exact same thing in it? Like the same people? That's hard to imagine, eh? And that's not either exactly what I wanted to say, but I think I lost my concentration, mind of thought. They even made a film about the phenomenon called shadow people in 2013. I'd have to look that up. Interesting. Yep. Yes, come to Montreal. We have one of our biggest winters now. It seems that it hit at the last minute. I was so happy. Yeah, January 17th, no friggin' snow. Then the 18th snow, 19th, 20, 21. And it's been gray every single day. I film the sun all the time, infrared camera all the time, the moon all the time, but there's no sky, and it's been a little while. They've been mentioning it too. That was a good one. Thanks again, Royce Farrell. I'm going to scroll down now. When I scroll down, I'm going to miss a whole bunch of people, but we'll put ourselves up to date around the time mark. Where's the time mark? Wow, lots of people. Like Christ, I would have tried to do all that. And parallel planes. Yep, absolutely. There could be parallel planes. I believe that there's parallel. Hey, thank you. Welcome. Ni hao. There's probably even elite moles in your friends, Master Brew. Oh, yeah, listen. I know there's some bad too inside of the friends. Some of even in the members, Justin. Some members came in and yeah, to cause problems, So, hey, thanks, Lisa. Joel, yeah, he can email me, but he's also going to be coming on next week with us guys to talk about his invention and talk about a whole bunch of other things. I will hold him to it. I see shadow people, but only out of the corner of my eyes. David, most of the time, exactly. When you're not looking for them, right? When you're not looking for a Nemesis Project is here. Thank you, Leah. Thank you very much, Nemesis Project, for coming back, brother. Tried to scroll down a bit because it's like 9:38. I know I'm not following the timestamps. It's impossible for me to answer everybody, but is there 100 people watching? At least 130. That's not bad. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you very much for appreciating the work, you guys. And thanks to all of you from all over, all around the world for coming here to take the time to connect and check the channels. And Gainer, how's it going? Parallel planes, that's a good one. There's parallel everything, I believe. Everything can exist. Danny Johnson. Hey, thanks, brother. Love you, man. London, Kentucky in the house. Thank you very much. Same here, David. They absolutely never mess with me. I've except I guess except at that time. But they were observing me. When they came in, they observed me, and I didn't like the way they bent over their heads. But you know what? They blocked out the sound. I was in an alternate reality or a parallel world. Now, this is where it gets really scary because I was screaming to my mother. That's how young I was, screaming at the top of my lungs. I remember even saying the fuck word, saying, "What the fuck? You can't hear me." It's like I was mad. Like by this point, it's impossible. My mother couldn't hear me wailing and smacking the wall and banging my feet on the bed, trying to make noise, but couldn't get up. I couldn't move. I could breathe, but I couldn't move. And those four individuals, tall motherfuckers, came and they bent down. And when they bent down, I didn't look to see what they were going to do. So I put the blankets up over me. So get this. If they come down, they took me away or they blocked out what was around us. I believe that those are technologies. Some of you might be over your heads, but I don't think it'll be over many of your heads here. I think you're all pretty up to date with that. They can block out. I don't know if they're blocking out time or if they're blocking out sound, but where was I? Let's say they bring you up in a ship and that I think I'm still in my bed. They can bring you up to a ship and have you lying down still in your bed. But in reality, you're not in your bed. You're somewhere else, but you're in an alternate reality. And that's very true. It's absolutely true. Let me go down here. I'm going to disappear. Yeah. And they've been doing that often. They've been doing that often. You look at them shifting. We are shifting left and right. That's the elites, mate. They're watching always. Yep. They're in every dimension too, is what I believe. Coming to steal. Imagine if you knew you had energy and that your energy could be robbed from you. That some entity can come and drain you of your energy, like a little UFO traveling in other dimensions, gets into the physical world and advances and is it capable of remaining here by taking your energy from your body. Maybe you can't steal someone else's energy because we're in the physical world and things that are done like that, you have to use your pineal gland and not the penal gland, the pineal gland, the cortex, the brain. Some people say they use the left side of the brain instead of the right side of the brain, the side that we don't use of the brain. It's there for a reason. The people that can use it could probably break through to the other side, break on through to the other side. The shadow entities I saw looked like They were hooded as well. Wizard Moon 13, thanks for confirming that. Sorry for the long wait for the replies, but it's true. I saw them with cloaks. I can't keep calling you raccoon person. Got a name? That's a good one. Many dark shadows around. I've seen them transport through the woods, and light shadows also. Light shadows are a scary one. I've seen that before. And in the woods, the energy is a lot higher there. When I'm there, and listen, I'm going to say it's as silly as the trees and the earth that's there. There's something to it. There's something to our earth that the portal of what people don't understand of where entities are coming into our physical world. If they're coming into the physical world, they're coming in through physical objects, is what I believe. The ground. That's why in my apartment, when I saw that golden basketball like orb, where do you think it was? It was right beside the electrical box, right outside of the garde-robe. That's French, sorry, the closet. I'm getting really aggressive with my seat going down like this. Jesus, Murphy. How can I fix it? On here. And we're back. I lost the paper back there. Damn it. Off the hook. Let me scroll down here. I'm missing everyone. There's crazy stuff going around. Bridlington, Flamborough, east coast of Yorkshire, UK. Yorkshire. Underground naval base. Is it Yorkshire she was? I have an ex. My ex-girlfriend was, I think it's Yorkshire. Yeah. Came down from England to meet me. Then her husband called. Can you imagine? That's awesome, Lisa B. Thanks for letting me know that. Awesome. Adventures of Cause. Yes, absolutely. The great images with the P900, P1000. Yeah, even better. Why can't I ever scroll to the bottom? That's what gets me mad. I'm trying there, and I'm going to miss some. I know it. Ah, there's a good one. Shit, that makes sense, eh? Time doesn't exist. I'm a time traveler. Mustn't go too far. For me, it doesn't make any sense, but I respect some of the people that say it, Sassy Cindy. But in reality, time does exist. We made it exist. Time keeps on slipping into the future. But time exists because it's a measurement, a perception to be able to perceive what distance something is at and what length of time it would take for you to reach a certain object. So yeah, for me, time exists. But you know what, Sassy Cindy? I have millions of people that come here and tell me time does not exist. And it's about time we talk about it. I believe it exists, though. That object tonight turning a 90-degree angle was scary. And when it made the turn, it was directly above me. So I had a good view of it. It was way up there, 60,000 feet or more. Well, it could be one of those friggin' UFOs again that are coming by visiting everybody, apparently. Miss all of you a whole bunch, but I've been working too many hours and caught a bug. Be careful, you guys. I told my boss going back to my regular hours after a mini vacay. I'm happy for you, Lisa B. Take care of yourself. Don't let the right now. I think it's important for us to think of our health and be a bit to ourselves. That's how I see it. I'd go and hide in the woods, actually. Can't travel through time unless time exists. I like that one, David. And take care of yourself at the same time, Lisa B. Rest up. Come and listen to me. I'll put you to sleep. Retro guys here. And they can disappear. They can, yeah, absolutely, and reappear. Well, even slowly, yes, it looks like they're folding up like paper. There's so many different types of entities and whatnot that are around the entire world. Julie Stats is here. Here. She's back. She's probably on her channel, and she, with her shoulder back surgery at the same time, had the feelings in her hands, had to do physiotherapy. So when she writes, she's going to be very slow at writing. But she came by a bunch of times to let us know she was okay. And that was really cool. Certain their appearance, that's why they change shape. Yeah, and some of us can see them or see circles around them, or maybe it's not them that we see, but we see the energy around them. Same way people see black holes. People don't see the actual black hole; they actually see what's around it. That's what they see, not the actual black hole. But I believe that some people's eyes are different. I listened to David Bowie's last album titled Black Star last night. He wrote it as he was dying. Yes, love the Space Oddity. I do too. You're right about that. He was, and if you go back and listen to some of the songs on the album, you can tell that he knew he was passing on also soon. Yep, you can hear that. Ask your guides. They do not interfere with being asked. Free will. Call in your crew. Absolutely agree with you on that one. Ask and you will receive. That's, you have to apply yourself. Some people don't have a need to see the other side. Some of us are here doing jobs. We are doing jobs and we're evolving. Some of us, it takes us a longer time to wake up. Some of us not. Stargazer 46 and 2 says, I saw 9 triangles in 217. It was beyond words, and our government has created something very unique and they defy gravity. Yes, because we have the capability also, apparently so. Yes, some healing vibes. Thank you very much, Mr. Gate Smasher. You don't have to be sorry. I don't believe in the Big Bang Theory. I know all about the universe and how it was created, my dear friends. And if anyone wants to go and find out, you can come and astral travel with me. Nimar Kani Hamed's work is taking us down a path where space-time is wasting our time. Nimar Kani Hamed's, I don't know if he's the guy that presented my work at the UFO symposium, but maybe not the same one. I must be thinking of Armani. No, I'm kidding. Get me Armani on the phone. I bet nobody knows what I'm referencing to. No worries here. I'm a light worker. So people say I am too, I guess. I had to look it up to see what it was, and pretty much what I'm doing, I guess. Pull back and you can see the big universe. Absolutely. Smart guy said one day, Confucius, not to me directly, but said, when you walk into someone's home, you won't notice the cracks on the ceiling, if there's marks in the window, if there's something in the corner in the carpet, what books are on the shelf, how many stairs did you go up, what was the temperature in the house, what was the smell in the house. When you start developing those senses, you will see other things. Me, when I go out in nature and I walk alone in nature, I get teary eyed because things happen to me so incredibly that honestly, I feel like not comparing my brain to Isaac Newton's brain, but his ideal of sitting under a tree and just being knocked out by an apple and saying, "Holy shit, the gravity," you know, even though that's just a scenario that didn't actually happen. Pretty sure. Imagine if the apple had fallen beside him. Hello, Susan. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Greetings all. Happy Friday to you too. Ulrich, thank you very much. Vibe 1111. Appreciate that. When I see every black hole as a raindrop on the other side, but a whole universe inside it. Every spot in the sky is a star, they call it. A star can consist of a solar system. Rigel's star is not a star, by the way. Rigel's star is a system of 5 stars. There's even a solar system in it, I think. And they say it's a star, but people, the ideal that they have that something is a star. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank you enough for having taken the time to come by this stream, making the channel what it is, for liking the videos, also greatly appreciated. We're due for a video on this channel, that's for sure. Bombs, like the name. Julie, hello to you. Do you? It's the chair. I got to change chairs. Ah, you see, I believe they are. That's a hell of a good question because you see, since it's not a physical object, the shadow, but it was moving around. You understand, Leah? How I have no explanation for that. It defies the laws of physics. It's like my shadow, and I got to be careful. I'm big. I wouldn't want my big shadow to beat the shit out of me. But honestly, how does the shadow become its own self? It's a reflection. I I don't know, but it amazed me. Yes, I believe everything in the physical world that appears and is shaped with the atoms. That's why sometimes the ghosts are deformed because the atoms are forming all around them. See, ectoplasm forms. Why does water form in certain areas when spirits appear? We're all compressed of atoms, apparently. If all the planets stopped and the magnetism stopped, or if the sun left, I mean, you can only imagine what would happen. Apparently, there's nothing solid. The table's together because it's atoms that are compressed together. We're all compressed together. If not, we'd be like blobs on another planet. If we were born on another planet and there wasn't an atmosphere like here or pressure, density, and all that, gravity, we'd be just blobs on the ground. Like we'd be like water with 2 eyes, basically. That's interesting. I'd be a pretty big lake. Remembering past, I remembered parts of one. It's becoming one blob as I remember each one here on Earth. It's all 3D. Time to wake up. No fear. No fear, and it's all real. Sassy Cindy, I'm telling you, it's all very, very real. People that don't believe in other dimensions, it's because they don't need to believe in other dimensions, or they could be scared of it. They could be in denial of it. But before I cross over and before I die, I want to have the ideal that possibly there is something next door. Maybe I'll get to where I want to go. Who knows? Yeah, retro guy, I get it. I get it. You're trying to save her, but we have to experience each our own, you know. I hear you though. I hear what you say about the evil. But the problem is that that's the beautiful thing about freedom of speech. So we can each have our own opinion. And retro guy, you might be right. But I'll tell you, I spoke to my father who passed away. I was able to tell my mother about things that my father was wearing or what happened at the funeral without me having been there. That's because it's a reality that the other side, people can communicate with people on the other side. But then again, I don't know what Sassy was talking about. Maybe it's another thing you're talking about. I don't know. Listen to your body. You must always listen to your body. Peter Benton in the house. Thanks, you guys, eh? We change, eh? Retro guy, we evolve, we go up, we go down. No fear, Sassy Cindy. I hear ya. Can actually see the moon in between the cloud cover into the night. Lucky you. The crescent is on the bottom. I haven't seen the moon in ages. I'm starting to get worried. I'm really looking forward. Retro guide, take it down a notch, though. Leave our Sassy alone, though. Please. Maybe you haven't experienced what she has. That's right, Sassy Cindy. I agree with you. You would have seen, Retro Guy, the beautiful spirits that I've met, that I've encountered, and you'd know that there's beautiful guides out there. There's not only evil. You know who sees evil? I'm gonna go out on a limb here and try to read a bit of your mind. Have you ever tried to speak to the devil? Maybe that's why you've experienced evil. Because I tell you what, I killed the devil. And as a matter of fact, I've said in my bed one night, got chills just thinking of it, right through my freaking body. I remember saying when I feel a negative energy, because some people, some of us, it's not because we want to encounter spirits, right? It's because we're always having spirits around us. That's why I know a lot about it and studied it. I remember telling the devil that I'm laughing at you. I am not afraid of you. I'm laughing at you. I have no fear for you. And I kept my end. But you know what I heard when I said that I was laughing at him? I heard almost shit in my pants. I'm not kidding you. I got to get tears in my eyes just thinking of it. I'm laughing at you, Satan, I said. And I heard, I tell you guys, I made him laugh, but I don't think it was too happy. I killed him. That's what I do. I don't permit a negative energy being here. When I was at a very, very young age, I didn't know that it was energy that I was distributing or feeling or to read the ghosts, but I was using my hands. I use my hands up and outwards, and the tingling in the palms here and the going down inside here, an incredible tingling where sometimes it was just like someone was pulling something like a string inside my hand, and I could feel certain energies that were around the house, very very young age, without ever really understanding or knowing why I was doing it. Valentine's Day wedding, as I go near to one, a lady coughed at me. It's so bad with asthma and oh shit, I barely can do a video, so out of breath, lips burn. Wow. Hey guys, let's all be very friggin' careful about what happened in Ohio. I don't know where any of you, I know where some of you are and where you are, Julie, and stuff like that. But I'm really worried about when it's raining or snowing. Be careful when you guys go outside. Seriously, I love you guys, Julie and Gate Smasher. When you go outside in the rain, I just got this. Gate Smasher is a hard work. He'll be out in the fucking forest in the rain for sure. But be careful for the next couple of days with the shit that's in the sky. We really don't know. I agree with that one. Thanks, you guys. Hit the subscribe button, guys. I appreciate. Hey, Julie, I mentioned it last stream that the subscribers went down. We lost 10 subscribers, guys. The trolls like unsubbing me. Me so sad. Please subscribe to the channel, guys. Hey, again, this evening we had some incredible fun. I stream on Fridays, guys, at 1 p.m. to 3 from 8 to 10. Also 9 a.m. on Mondays or 8 or 9 a.m. on Mondays, which I'm happy she mentioned that because it could be 8 or 9. And Wednesdays at 5 p.m. So all live, like Julie says, and you can check that out and stop by if you want to have some more conversation. Yes, Sassy Cindy, I believe, and that's well said. I like the way you interpret and the terms that you use when talking about what's going on. The 3D veil is being lifted, and I believe it. And I'm waiting for them to expose the moon. I'm hyper excited. Waiting for World War III? Nah, I don't see anyone ever getting nuked. As a matter of fact, I'm starting to realize that they're full of shit and that they don't have any weapons. They're probably using leftover Scud missiles. Remember those from Desert Storm? David Donlin, Welsh Hammer, saying goodbye to everyone here. I'm sorry for the ones I miss. The moon, oh yeah, she rotates, boy. Jody Williams, thank you. Thanks again, you guys. Sorry for taking so long to say hello to you all. I do like the Satan's laugh. We might love what's coming, my friend. Only goodness is coming. Don't believe the fear shit, my friend. Only good stuff is coming. The ones that are asleep, the ones that want to get stabbed or whatever, they're gonna do what they got to do. Even the Horizon 226 is happening, my friend. That's right, Lisa. You got to be careful, eh? We got to go through the truth and the lies of it all. Yep, very active each day. It's bringing in energy, frequency, radiation, my dear friend, for sure. In our solar system, lighting up the evil. Yep, and it won't be for long. Beth Noyce. Beth, thanks a lot. Sorry I missed a thank you. Thanks again, Bruce, for the excellent coverage and research in these crazy times. Love you all. Thank you so much, Beth. Gate Smasher, I want to thank you, brother. Thanks, Julie, for being here. And Gate Smasher, thanks for the beautiful idea. The seat's all the way down now. I'm getting. Want to thank you for the beautiful ideal of talking about parallel worlds, alternate realities, and other dimensions. It's something very, very interesting. That if you're just joining the channel here, we talk about it a lot. A lot of people here have shared their experiences with loved ones that have passed on. Just Beth lost a loved one very recently that did a test on the other side with a family member, and there was a response and stuff. Some of us that are really awake, I've done it. I've mentioned it with my mother myself too before she passes or whatnot. There will be some interacting and tests and signs that I'll be expecting, and that's how it is. Some people are open-minded with that, and but retro guy, don't feel so bad, man. You're trying to be a helper for someone that there isn't a single video on YouTube of any other platform that accurately displays what these things look like at all. No one is ready for it. I'm pretty sure we are ready for it, Retro Guy. But in reality, maybe in general, I agree with you. Not a lot of people are ready for what the UFOs are. And that's why they opened, before I get off here, that's why they opened all the different characteristics and fields and UAP task force and now the joint task force, even though the Pentagon said it wasn't real, but got caught by the Black Vault exposing that during an insider meeting. But that's how it is. Ladies and gents, I really appreciate you for stopping by this channel, for making it what it is. Retro Guy doesn't want to give up. Kill the devil, man. Oh yeah, I've gotten negative energy before, and I hear you. They exist, but so do the good ones. David, thanks a lot, man. Thanks you guys for everything. Ormus Book, Bruce, new subscriber here. Hey, I'm happy I've gotten a chance to thank you, and of course, an hour late, so you're probably not there. Ladies and gents, we will talk very soon. Thank you so much for the amazing support, the comments, the contributions, guys and gals. I love you very much. Be safe. Be watching the news. A lot of shit's going on. We'll have some more interesting conversations this weekend. I'm off to see the wizard. I'm off to work on the video and check out to see if we can see some stars out tonight. And I'll talk to you all on the flip side. See you in the comment sections. Thanks, mods. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye for now.